Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sorry about that. So we are continuing to read from Srimad Bhagavatam here on Canto 10 on chapter 9. We heard how Krishna has allowed himself uh, to be bound by Mother Yaśodā, and how everyone is afraid of Krishna. I'm sorry, even Yamraj is afraid of Krishna, and that how Krishna is afraid of his mother Yaśodā. So, going on. Nayam Sukhapo Bhagavan
Nayam Sukhapo Bhagavan
Dehinam Gopika Sutaha
Dehinam Gopika Sutaha
Jnaninam Cha Atma Bhutanam
Jnaninam cha Atma Bhutanam
Yatha Bhakti Matam Iha.
Yata Bhakti Matam Iha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the son of Mother Yaśodā, is accessible to devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service. But he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or to those who consider the body the same as the self. So here Sukadev Goswami is saying how we can approach Krishna. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yaśodā, is very easily available to the devotees, but not to tapasvis, yogis, jnanis, and others who have a bodily concept of life. So, if we want to understand Krishna as he is, having loving pastimes with Mother Yaśodā, with the gopis, the gopas, then only by bhakti, not by gyan, not by any amount of yoga or tapasya. Nothing else can help us understand Krishna as the son of Mother Yaśodā, son of Nanda Maharaj. Although they may sometimes be called Shanta Bhaktas, real bhakti begins with Dasya Ras. So we see there is also Shantaras, right? We say 5 relationships with Krishna. Shantaras is the first. But a bhakta wants at least to begin from Dasya Ras. That's what a devotee wants, that at least let me come to understand I am servant of Krishna and engage in that service. Do something in that service. Understanding Krishna as God is already a big thing. To appreciate Krishna as God. But the devotee wants to go further. Now, the devotee says, now that I've understood that Krishna is my worshipable Lord and that I'm his part and parcel, let me engage in his service. That's what the devotee wants. And then we can see that in all the rasa, Vatsalya ras, then Sakhya ras, Madhurya ras, this Dasya ras is always there. Yeah, that's the foundation of all the ras. Mother Yashoda, she's always serving Krishna. His friends are serving Krishna. The gopis are serving Krishna. Although the relationships changes, but the dasya ras is always there. So we should also try to come to this platform that I'm a servant of Krishna and serve Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Yatha ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajami aham. Mama varta manu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. As living entities surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Krishna is saying, as you surrender, I reward. And everyone is following Krishna's path, maybe directly or indirectly. So rather, we take the direct path. Everyone is seeking Krishna, for he is the super soul of all individual souls. Everyone loves his body and wants to protect it because he is within the body as the soul, and everyone loves the soul because the soul is part and parcel of the super soul. So here we can understand why we love our body so much. We love our body because we are inside this body. And because we are in the body, and then we love ourselves, right? We love the soul. Now, why do we love the soul? Because we are part and parcel of the super soul. Actually, our real love is for super soul, for Krishna. We have simply forgotten it. So we are actually always seeking Krishna. We're always searching for Krishna. So therefore, everyone is actually seeking to achieve happiness by reviving his relationship with the super soul. But we are seeking happiness here and there. Then we don't find that happiness. So we get dissatisfied, get disillusioned, because who we are actually looking for is Krishna. We are searching for this relationship with Krishna since time immemorial because it's undeniable, this relationship. The child is happy only when the mother is there with him, carrying him. Till that time, the child will keep crying, looking for his mother. So, as the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedasya sarver aham eva vedya. By all the Vedas, it is I who am to be known. Therefore, the karmis, jnanis, yogis, and saintly persons are all seeking Krishna. But by following in the footsteps of devotees who are in a direct relationship with Krishna, especially the inhabitants of Vrindavan, one can reach the supreme position of associating with Krishna. So have a direct relationship with Krishna, following in the footsteps of the Brajavasis. As it is said, Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati. Krishna does not leave Vrindavan even for a moment. The Vrindavan Vasis, Mother Yaśodā, Krishna's friends and Krishna's conjugal lovers, the younger gopis with whom he dances, they all have very intimate relationships with Krishna. And if one follows in the footsteps of these devotees, Krishna is available. Following in the footsteps of the devotees, we can revive our relationship with Krishna. So, what shall we do? So, Lord Chaitanya, he is Radharani actually. It's Krishna himself in the mood of Radharani. So, if we follow Lord Chaitanya, we can also revive our relationship with Krishna. It's very difficult to understand Krishna, but if we go through Lord Chaitanya, it's very easy. It's not easy to revive our relationship with Krishna, but Lord Chaitanya is making it very easy. Very intimate relationship. We each and everyone have this intimate relationship with Krishna. We simply have to revive it. Although the Nitya Siddha expansions of Krishna always remain with Krishna, if those engaged in sadhana siddhi follow in the footsteps of Krishna's Nitya Siddha associates, such sadhana siddhas also can easily attain Krishna without difficulty. So this here, Prabhupada in speaking, he's speaking of Raganuga Bhakti, following in the footsteps of the Brajavasis. The Brajavasis are the Ragatmika Bhaktas, and following in their footsteps. It's very advanced level, and as we said earlier, cannot be imitated. Otherwise, it can create a great disturbance in our spiritual life. In fact, our we may just get totally sidetracked. So it needs expert guidance of a spiritual master and comes at later stage of bhakti. But there are those who are attached to bodily concepts of life. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, for example, have very prestigious positions. And thus they have the sense of being very exalted Ishwaras. In other words, because Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are guna avataras and have exalted positions, they have some small sense of being like Krishna. But the pure devotees who inhabit Vrindavan do not possess any bodily conception. So the great rulers of the universe, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they are exalted Ishwaras, right? Rulers, controllers, very important positions. Of course, when we look at they are pure devotees, they are Mahajans. But if we look at only the administrative effect of their administrative effect, then because they are such great rulers, they may have that, okay, I'm a ruler. But of the Brajvasis have no such sense that I am this, I'm that. They have only love for Krishna, no bodily conception. Then, of course, when we look at the devotee portion of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are pure devotees. They also don't have this kind of concept. But when we look at their position only as demigods, as rulers, then they have. So, but the Brajvasis, they are engaged in Krishna's personal service. They're serving Krishna personally. Krishna is there right in front of them. They're talking to him, laughing with him, enjoying with him, cooking for him, dancing with him, playing with him. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma do not have that opportunity. They're serving Krishna, yes, but they're serving him in maintaining the universe, taking part of the administration, part of the universe. Krishna is not personally present in the universe. So we can see this position of the Brajvasis, how they are such fortunate devotees. They are fully dedicated to the service of the Lord in sublime affection, prema. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended prema pumartho mahat. The highest perfection of life is prema, pure love in relationship with Krishna. And Mother Yaśodā appears to be the topmost of devotees who have attained this position. So Lord Chaitanya is telling us what is the goal of life. The goal of life is this love for Krishna. Prema pum artho mahan. This is the pancha artha. We know of the four arthas: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is the fifth artha. Prema pum artho mahan. Love for Krishna. Did you want to add anything? Any comments?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah. So
Okay.
the Brajvasis, yeah, the position is the topmost. I mean, yeah, the topmost devotees. Right.
Yeah, topmost devotees. That's right. They're personally serving Krishna.
Mhm.
Krishnastu graha krityeshu
कृष्णास्तु गृहकृत्येषु
Vyagraya Matari Prabhu.
वक्र
यं
आर्या मातरि प्रभु
परिभुः
Adra Akshit Arjuno Purvam.
अद्र अक्षे अर्जुनो पूर्वम्
Guhyakau Dhanat Atmajo.
गुणयकौ धन
आत्मज
आत्मजो
While Mother Yaśodā was very busy with household affairs, the Supreme Lord Krishna observed twin trees known as Yamala Arjuna, which in a former millennium had been the demigod sons of Kuvera. So Mother Yashoda has tied Krishna. He is there tied to the ukul, the mortar. She's gone busy again to her work. Now he's seeing these two Yamala Arjuna trees. He's seeing that they are standing there. They, of course, as we know, the sons of Kuvera. Pura Narada Shapena
पुराणावदासापेन
Vrikshatam Prapito Madat
वृक्षता
वृक्षतां प्राप्तौ
प्राप्तो
मद
मतः
Nalakuvara Manikrivav
नलकुवरमणिग्रीवा
नलकूवरमणिग्रीवा
Iti Kyato Shri Yanvito.
इति
इति
ख्यातो श्रेयान्वितो
पितो
In their former birth, these two sons, known as Nalakuvara and Manigriva, were extremely opulent and fortunate. But because of pride and false prestige, they did not care about anyone, and thus Narad Muni cursed them to become trees. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 10th canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Mother Yaśoda binds Lord Krishna. So we are going to hear in detail about this pastime in the next chapter. We finish this Damodar Leela, which continues with the deliverance of Manigriva and Nalakovera. That'll be in the next chapter. So, shall we read this summary of chapter 10?
Yes, we have 5 minutes.
The deliverance of the Yamala Arjuna trees. This chapter describes how Krishna broke the twin Arjuna trees from which Nalakuvara and Manigriva, the sons of Kuvera, then came out. Nalakuvara and Manigriva were great devotees of Lord Shiva, but because of material opulence, they became so extravagant and senseless that one day they were enjoying with naked girls in a lake and shamelessly walking here and there. Suddenly Narad Muni passed by, but they were so maddened by their wealth and false prestige that even though they saw Narad Muni present, they remained naked and were not even ashamed. In other words, because of opulence and false prestige, they lost their sense of common decency. Of course, it is the nature of the material qualities that when one becomes very much opulent in terms of wealth and a prestigious position, one loses one's sense of etiquette and does not care about anyone. Even a sage like Narad Muni, for such bewildered persons, ahankara vimodatma, who especially deride devotees. The proper punishment is to be again stricken with poverty. The Vedic rules and regulations prescribe how to control the false sense of prestige by the practice of yam, niyam, and so on. Tapasa brahmacharyena shamena cha damena cha. A poor man can be convinced very easily that the prestige of an opulent position in this material world is temporary, but a rich man cannot. Therefore, Narad Muni set an example by cursing these two persons, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, to become dull and unconscious like trees. This was a fit punishment. But because Krishna is always merciful, Even though they were punished, they were fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Therefore, the punishment given by Vaishnavas is not at all punishment. Rather, it is another kind of mercy. By the curse of the Devarishi, Nalakovera and Manigriva became twin Arjuna trees and remained in the courtyard of Mother Yaśodā and Nanda Maharaj, waiting for the opportunity to see Krishna directly. Lord Krishna, by the desire of his devotee, uprooted these Yamala Arjuna trees, and when Nalakovera and Manigriva were thus delivered by Krishna after 100 years of the Devas, their old consciousness revived, and they offered Krishna's prayers suitable to be offered by demigods. Having gotten Having thus gotten the opportunity to see Krishna face to face, they understood how merciful Narad Muni was, and therefore they expressed their indebtedness to him and thanked him. Then, after circumambulating the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, they departed for their respective abodes. So we'll continue with this chapter tomorrow. We'll read in detail. Stop here now. Thank you all so much for listening and enjoying. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।